Welcome, Shane. This is Shane Riffle. He's been a year now, probably. Over a year, yeah. CEO of our YMCA. So, Shane, take it away. Tell us what you're looking for support for.
Sure. So thank you for having me. Shane Riffle. I'm the CEO of the Brainerd Family YMCA. Been with LY 29 years. This Y a little over a year and a quarter. What I'd like to do is just introduce you, in case you're not that familiar with the YMCA and who we are. And I'll just go through these slides. But the Y is a college-driven organization. We're a 501c3, and we're dedicated to strengthening the foundations of community. We're for three things. Everything that we do at the YMCA should fit into one of three buckets. It should be for youth development, for healthy living, or for social responsibility. The mission of our Brainerd Family YMCA is to enhance lives in the Brainerd Lakes area by connecting individuals and families with opportunities based on Christian values that build a healthy spirit, mind, and life for all. The YMCA is an organization that's been around since 1844. It started in London, England, to address critical societal needs. The Brainerd Family YMCA is quite old as well. We were formed in 1887. And the Northern Pacific Railroad, much like in London, England, they wanted to give youth a place to strengthen their spirit, mind, and body and do something healthy centered around Scripture. But we also realized that it wasn't just the mind, but that fitness and health revolves around the entire body, the spirit, mind, and the body. So the Northern Pacific Railroad, they were having issues with their workers after work, right? They were gambling, brawling, drinking, and not coming to work ready to do the job they needed them to do. So they invited the YMCA into the community back then. So today, although the needs have changed, the YMCA is still here to meet today's needs, whether it's childhood obesity, whether it's isolation, whether it's providing quality child care, or what we're presenting in this grant is part of a program, an enhancement or an upgrade, as we call it, to teach kids skills that make them a better person, number one, but also a better worker. One thing I've noticed since during my time in Brainerd which is unique, and I've lived a lot of places in my life. I was an Air Force kid. I lived in England, New Mexico, Arizona, Ohio, Boise, Idaho, Myrtle Beach, here. Brainerd is the best place I've lived. There is such a collaborative community spirit that is unique, different than anywhere I've ever lived. Whether it's Crowing Energized or working with the school or the community foundation, there's all of these partnerships and willingness not to say I'm going to go this alone, but I'm going to work with others to lift up our community. Now that's fantastic, but something else I've learned is that rural communities really struggle with different challenges than metropolitan or suburban areas. And this grant is focusing on attracting and retaining and keeping our workforce. Because what we know and what you know is that typically kids through secondary education, the ones that are performing go away to college and move to the cities or to a metropolitan area. We're losing the qualified workers in our area because there's nothing here for them. They don't see, not that there isn't, they don't see this as a place to stay, right? So what we need to do, number one, as a community, is help them value what community means. That this is a place that it's good to stay and play, and as Sandra Torsis says, stay, play, and stay. I think I said that 4 times. But also for those students that are not performing, that have traditionally been left behind, how do we lift them up so that they have skills and competencies to fill the jobs that are needed? I know talking with Mike Dillon of Lexington Manufacturing and Tom Hagelin, they have so much trouble finding workers, skilled workers that can do the jobs they need. It's because they're not here. They've all left. So if we start planning now with the kids that are in elementary school, the kids that are coming to our daycare program, to our after-school program, to our summer camps, if we can help build them, lift them up, then we're going to have the workers. Then as a community, as we make Brainerd the best place to be in Minnesota, we're not going to have a problem at all. So one aspect of doing that is, which I proposed, is to really supercharge our after-school and summer camp program with STEM programming. And I have some data. So that's one of the benefits about supporting the YMCA also. We don't just have the resources of one independent YMCA. We leverage the power of a worldwide organization. There are YMCAs in over 10,000 communities across America. So we have resources through those relationships that will help us maximize the impact of every dollar that's invested in our YMCA. So we have access to lots of STEM programming, staff training. That's how the dollars will be invested. So some data from YMCA. One of the major skills young people need to advance in life as a problem is the process of solving non-routine problems. And STEM really answers that. So not just getting that scientific aspect of building robots, building some gadgets, they're learning problem-solving skills. And that translates into other jobs as well. I already mentioned that we know that STEM jobs are growing proportionately faster than other types of jobs in other industries. I would like to mention the fact that one thing I'm really proud of, and I've heard it from Mike Dirkus over at BLACF and a couple other people, Brian Moon on the steering committee of the city. There are 3 families that I've heard of that have specifically moved to Brainerd because of the YMCA, because of our programs. They had flexible jobs where they could have moved to a suburban community or anywhere else and chose Brainerd and specifically because of the YMCA. So I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of the programs that we've developed in the last year. So with these dollars, what I propose, there's 2 problems, right? It's having the equipment to do STEM programming. We already do have some partnerships. We partnered with Mobile. We did this last year where we brought in a lot of the resources that they offer. We had them the entire summer. And we did robotics, gizmos, and they provided the planning, and actually a teacher could not facilitate a lot of activities. We've invested in hiring a STEM coordinator this summer. So we're going to have a dedicated staff member that is going to plan and execute these courses or this program with our campers throughout the entire summer. One area that we'd like to focus on is coding using computers. We would like to purchase the Google Chromebooks, which they last forever. So we'd like to purchase a number of those, and then also license different programs, which are evidence-based, which really are proven to develop these skills. License those so that we can have kids spending time productively on the computers. And then the other part of it is access. Not enough kids in the communities that we really need to target have access to quality programs. They have parents that are working 2 or 3 jobs, and in the summertime, they may be left at home with no supervision, nothing productive to do. So if we can really invite these kids strategically into our program, give them a place to be where they have adult role models and teachers that care about them, where they're learning these skills, they feel valued. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of the Self-Healing Communities Initiative that's going on in ACEs. We are going to take kids that are high on their ACEs score and wrap around them and help protect them against these risky behaviors and build resiliency within them to make them successful in life. So in a nutshell, that's what we want to do. We want to lift kids up, we want to invest in some technology and provide access to specifically for the kids in the Garfield and Lowell neighborhood, elementary school neighborhoods, so they can come to the YMCA. So, am I out of time or is that?
We still have another minute.
I was speaking fast.
Yeah, that was great.
When the investment was in the Chromebooks themselves, how do you propose administering that as far as utilizing these in purchasing, sending?
Sure. So right now in our kind of go down the stairs and there's an activity area. We also have a classroom which is isolated where we do some of learning loss prevention as well. So we have teachers that come in the summertime. They do ELA and math activities. And I gotta tell you, last summer the kids, knowing that was coming, they grumbled about it. But once they started doing this, we made it fun. And they didn't just do worksheets; they were doing the actual activities. They loved it. So that's an area where we do these more specific learning. So there's places for computers. We have it wired for Wi-Fi right now. We're going to need to do a little enhancement but they'll be safe and protected in that area, and we'll have staff in there. Definitely help out.
So Shane, this is for the summer program primarily, but
Summer, we'll do it after school. So once we license the software and have the tablets, we'll be doing it after
so
school.
they will get used. They will get used year-round.
Year-round. Yeah.
This is kind of a one-time request, or just looking at ongoing?
This is a one-time request for the software. You know, we may in the future, we're going to be looking to always grow and enhance. I'm a student, and one of my favorite books is I just mentioned it this morning, I forget it. But there's a saying, good enough never is. Good to great. That book. Good enough never is, so there's always work to be done. So we're always going to be looking to do more, provide more access, and do more within the community. And one of the slides I didn't mention is how we fund our programs at the YMCA. A lot of people don't know that membership and program fees, that's what we use for utilities, for paying our wages, for our insurance. But we also provide financial assistance. We have two major fundraising mechanisms throughout the year. Our annual campaign in the fall is where we raise money to provide scholarships. So families who can't afford the full price of membership, all they try to do is walk in and say, I can't afford this. Here's what I can pay, and here's some documentation, and they can get qualified for a subsidy that way. The other part is our Y Ball, which is April 5th at Granby Lodging. Buy tickets at Y Ball 2019. You're smart. Little plug there. But that helps us also buy new equipment, start new initiatives. And then the third part is grants. So we've really taken more of an active role in looking for grants that are going to fund the types of programs that we need to be involved in.
You mentioned that you teach skills that make a better person and a better worker. What are those skills?
Great question. One of the first things we added to really all of our youth programs was socio-emotional learning. There's a program called Sanford Harmony Program. We brought someone in from South Carolina from last year. She actually leads this effort nationally. And it's everyday activities from 5 minutes to half an hour that helps develop empathy, help foster a sense of communication, better communication, active learning classrooms, cooperations, and kids learn those skills through these activities. The kids actually don't know that that's what they're learning, but those are things, if you think about your work environment, aren't those skills that you want everybody to have? So those socio-emotional skills are very important. We also are training our staff to be natural situation mentors. So to see themselves that kids struggle at times, how do you have conversations with kids that help them work through their problems? Sometimes kids, they may not have a great relationship with their parents. And at the YMCA or at their daycare or after-school program, that's the one place where someone truly cares about them deeply, right? So we have these opportunities to have those conversations. And then there's these more functional type programs that we do, the STEM, and I always talk about even our sports programs. Basketball. Parents sign up thinking their kids are going to learn how to shoot a free throw or three-pointer or dribble the ball through their legs. What we want out of it, we do want kids to have fun with basketball, but we want them to learn how to overcome challenges. When you lose, how do you set new goals and work harder so that you do succeed the next time? How do you work better with your teammate? How do you interact with the other team? Those are the deeper things. I call them the new-dos. Those are the things that we want kids to learn in all of our programs. So when we hire new staff, that's how we communicate with them. You're not just a swim instructor. You're teaching kids a valuable life skill. You're teaching them how to be safe in and around water. You're teaching them how to set goals and build skills, incrementally. That's what we want kids to learn and translate, not just in swim lessons or basketball, but that's translatable to almost everything we do in life.